Well, hello and welcome to what is known as, I gotta show you this, the worst channel on YouTube. Welcome to the worst channel on YouTube by one of the top 10 problematic YouTubers on YouTube. So welcome. I'm glad that you have joined me tonight. I love it. Oh dear, that is the type of night we're in for. We're in for a bit of fun. Rufus, did you see the latest video I tweeted to you? Possibly. I do have slow mode on, so it's at 30 seconds because it just jumps past. Did you see those babies that passed away due to border restrictions stopping them? No, I didn't. No, I haven't. Border restrictions are giving everyone a lot of heartache at the moment. So, yes. So, I have the worst. So, you're watching the worst YouTube channel by one of the top 10 problematic YouTubers. Aren't you guys lucky, hey? So welcome. Hello, Ginger Lee. So, I don't know where to start. I've got 15 tabs open at the moment to go through. Apparently 2 other true crime YouTube channels got really deleted too. Wow. So, yeah, Critical K tweeted today at Team YouTube to ask why her channel was removed. You don't agree, Robin? How are things in your state, Joe? They said they won't announce until Saturday whether even locations. I don't know. Unless I've got a channel. Yeah. Well, I have an idea. Yeah, look, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. The worst, because somebody left me a comment to say that I've got the worst YouTube channel. Let me just show that again to you. I have a feeling it was left on an old video, and I'm assuming it's a fan of somebody I criticized. This is what it said. This has to be the worst channel on YouTube. This sucks so bad, and to which I replied, thank you. Oh dear, because what else am I supposed to say to them? I don't know. Yeah, So anyway, I think I might start at the very beginning. Where are we going to start? We might start with I know. Well, in Victoria, anyone over 18 is now eligible to get the Pfizer. Anyway, I know that the Victoria is wanting to get all of the Year 12 students and teachers done. Exactly. They contribute to get, yeah, jokes are on them. Well, I mean, I didn't know what else they wanted me to say other than to say thank you. All right. So this is titled, so I called this Bruz in a poo with the ACT because he's caused a bit of a stink with the ACT, and it's got to do with poo. Seriously. It's got to do with poo. Here it is. Here's the headline. COVID-19 sewage testing causes stink between ACT and New South Wales. Of course, there's video, so we have to watch the video. It says ACT Chief Minister Andrew Barr has responded to claims from New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro that a Canberra resident could be responsible for COVID showing up in Merimbula's wastewater and sewage surveillance. Does John know something about the poo that other people don't? Barr asks. I don't know where he's getting that from. If he has scientific evidence that can back it up that it's Canberra's poo, then okay. So he's saying, so Bruz is saying, so there's been some COVID-19 tests come up in Zurich, obviously on the border. And Bruz is saying it's come from Canberra. So let's have a look at this.
There were some COVID fragments found in the sewage in Merimbula. There's some speculation that Canberrans are to blame for that. Can you provide any clarity on that situation?
No, I don't know where the sewage fragments have come from. I mean, there's COVID all over New South Wales, so it's just as likely to be from New South Wales. I don't think the sewage detection is quite that sophisticated to be able to tell whether it's a Canberran's poo or someone else's.
I want to touch on the sewage surveillance, especially in Merimbula, a high level of surveillance there, and we are concerned because of the proximity to Canberra, knowing that many Canberrans had moved down to the south coast. We have no known cases. It's been an area that's been quite clean from COVID for a very, very long time. We've got the issuer in Canberra yesterday posting its highest level of infections in Canberra, which does put pressure on southern New South Wales, and this morning already sewage surveillance showing that in Merimbula, high case of surveillance.
John Barilaro has directly pointed at the ACT as the cause of that. What is your response to Ms. Barilaro?
Does John know something about the poo that other people don't? I don't know where he's getting that from. I mean, if he's got scientific evidence that can back it up that it's Canberra poo, okay, all right. But, I mean, seriously, I'm just not interested in having whose poo it was arguments with John Barilaro at the moment, to be honest. Jasper.
So he's literally having a poo fight. He's having a poo fight. Why would you stand up there and go, it's come from... And why is he complaining about the cases from the ACT? Because ACT got it from Wales. Does the poo have return to sender on it? Return to sender. Someone's going to open up their loo and find their poos back in the toilet. So that's well, that's right. Does it avoid the trading value? Did it have a permit? We haven't flown that. I mean, that's how we've started the night. I think we need to get the FBI in. Oh, boy. Do we need to see that again? Because, like, are you just sitting there in disbelief? I know we've just started 13 minutes in. Do you want to watch that again? Because that was classic. I don't think I really quite took it all in. All right, we're going to watch that again. I've just taken a vote. We're going to watch that again because I was too busy in disbelief.
There were some COVID fragments found in the sewage in Merimbula. There's some speculation that Canberrans are to blame for that. Can you provide any clarity on that situation?
No, I don't know where the sewage fragments have come from. I mean, there's COVID all over New South Wales, so it's just as likely to be from New South Wales. I don't think the sewage detection is quite that sophisticated to be able to tell whether it's a Canberran's poo or someone else's.
I do want to touch on the sewage surveillance, especially in Merimbula, a high level of surveillance there, and we are concerned because of the proximity to Canberra, knowing that many Canberrans had moved down to the south coast. We have no known cases. It's been an area that's been quite clean from COVID for a very, very long time. We've got the issuer in Canberra yesterday posting its highest level of projections in Canberra, which does put pressure on southern New South Wales, and this morning already sewage surveillance showing that in Merimbula, high case of surveillance.
John Barilaro has directly pointed at the ACT as the cause of that. What is your response to Ms. Barilaro?
Does John know something about the poo that other people don't? I don't know where he's getting that from. I mean, if he's got scientific evidence that can back it up that it's Canberra poo, okay, all right. But, I mean, seriously, I'm just not interested in having whose poo it was arguments with John Barilaro at the moment, to be honest. Jasmine.
I love that. That is the best comeback. Does John know something about the poo that other people don't? I love that. That is the best line out of that whole thing. Oh, look, I think we end the stream on there because I don't know that we can top that. I'm not sure. So if you've just joined us, we're talking about poo. Apparently, poo, according to Bruz, poo crossed the border from ACT into New South Wales with COVID. I thought if we played it again, maybe it wasn't as stupid as what it sounded, but it was. All right. Well, while we're talking about stupidity, let's go to federal parliament. Let's go to federal parliament. Okay. So this is question time today. Oh. Do you really? He seems to be in a lot of poo at the moment. Alrighty, let's go. So then there is in federal parliament today. There's this question. There was this question in question time today. I've asked the wrong question. South Australian Liberal MP Rowan Ramsey has a question written for him by Stuart Roberts. His only task was to read it aloud. He failed. So he has to ask. He's got to ask one question. So watch this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Employment, Workplace Skills, Small and Family Business, who is my new name.
Oh, no, let me just pull that back up again. Right, so all he has to do is ask the question written by him, by Stuart Roberts. So where was that from entitled? I don't know what border that was. Okay, so let's have a look at this.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of Employment, Workplace, Skills, Small and Family Business, who is my new neighbour up here. So, will the Minister update the House on how the Morrison government is providing critical support for small businesses through the pandemic and why sticking to the national plan is so important? I've asked the wrong question. My question is to the Minister of Education and Youth. Will you please update the House on how the Morrison government is sticking to the national plan and supporting students?
You can't. You've asked the question. I'm going to call the Minister for Small Business. And thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, it's probably the clearest illustration that it's not a question without notice. But anyway.
Thank you.
There you go. I do like the Speaker of the House. He said it with deadpan. He was deadpan. But yes, the question was written out. He had to answer it. And oh boy. So, yeah, I've asked the wrong question. So, how? Oh. Oh, no. Oh, so anyway. So what do you reckon about the the wrong question being asked in Parliament today? Oh, so if you're just coming in, you're seeing lots of stuff about poo. We've just, our politicians, the New South Wales Deputy Premier wants to have an argument with the Australian Capital Territory Chief Minister over who owns poo with COVID. He's saying the poo had to have come from the ACT. And the ACT's going, we don't know where the poos come from. Well, they are only good for a laugh. Oh, boy. Oh. They're called Dorothy Dixes. I don't know whether Totally Clueless they have them in the UK, but you know, in question time, the opposition asks a question. It's supposed to be questions without notice. And so the opposition asks their questions, and then they have what's called a Dorothy Dixer, which is a pre-planned question by somebody on the government side, but he asks the wrong question. No, he didn't run away. So anyway, so yes, so there's a big stash about poo. Oh. We're going to interview the poo to ask it where it's from. The best intro ever. I actually didn't think it was going to. I hadn't seen the clip. I just saw it and I went, oh, this will be a good way to start. And here everybody thought Bruz was spending time on his defamation suit, but no, he's concerned about all the poo. Oh. Anyway, we need to talk about some more serious. We need to get into some more serious stuff now that we've started the laugh. If we need a laugh at the end, we can do that again, because that will not. I'm sure that footage won't go funny. Oh, so R. Kelly, you're invested now. Oh dear. Okay, so we'll go into. So R. Kelly was back in court today, and so the second woman testified. She was 17 when she met Kelly in 2015 at a music festival. A woman who says that R. Kelly essayed her over their 5-year relationship has told a court the R&B singer ordered her to have another man while he watched. A federal court jury in Brooklyn banned her from watching a television documentary detailing the allegations of his essay. But a lawyer for Kelly tried during cross-examination to cast doubt on the woman's claims, and instead showed that Kelly treated her well and generously and that she welcomed his company. The woman, who identified herself on the witness stand as Jane, is the second accuser to testify against Kelly. He could face life imprisonment. So she said she was 17 when she met Kelly at a 2015 Florida music festival, then later lived with him until the summer of 2019 and left him for good that October. Under questioning from federal prosecutor, Jane, now 23, said Kelly had told her to have non-consent multiple times in his presence with another man, nephew, who Kelly said he had been grooming since he was young. She also said that when the documentary Surviving R. Kelly came out in 2019, which detailed all the misconduct, Kelly warned her that everything in it was false and she must change the channel. Multiple witnesses have said Kelly maintained tight control at his Chicago home, with Jane saying he ordered her to write him apology letters for breaking the rules, such as referring to him as daddy and needing permission to use the bathroom. I'm not happy. I'm not being fulfilled sexually, and on top of that, I'm getting spankings nearly every day, Jane said she wrote in one apology letter. This isn't what I want my life to be. It's not what I know you want either. Jane said that when she and another woman defended Kelly in an interview with CBS Gayle King before moving out, Kelly coached them what to say and coughed in a distinctive way so they would know he was there listening in. On cross-examined, Kelly's lawyer questioned Jane's claim that Kelly pressured her when she was 17 as a condition of helping her advance her own fledgling singing career. After being violated, outraged and devastated, you flew out to meet him, he asked. Jane said she had and did not tell anyone about the encounter. Jane also resisted Mr. Kennick's suggestion that Kelly and his girlfriend functioned like a family, while agreeing that the singer once rented a California home for Christmas and gave his girlfriends $10,000 each to buy presents for each other. I wouldn't call it family now. Later, Mr. Kennick had Jane read from letters she wrote to Kelly in jail following his July 2019 arrest. In one, she said there were no bad feelings between them and that she would continue to support Kelly. So it's interesting here that it says, and his girlfriends. How many girlfriends did he have? How many girlfriends did he have is the question. So Where is he? Well, he's still got to have face charges in 2 other states, so I don't think they're going to do anything. Where is he at the moment? Brooklyn, isn't he? So, yeah. So here's a story closer to home. A guy walked free from prison today. It's outraged many. So this is the guy who he has served all this. So he's a free man after completing his 120-day sentence for 11 offences, including unlawful assault. He attracted national attention in April 2020 when he filmed the dying moments of 4 police officers who were hit by a truck after pulling him over for speeding on the Eastern Freeway. These actions left to Pussey being jailed for outraging public decency in April. On Wednesday, the 43-year-old's long-running disputes with the law came to an end with the law when he was sentenced to 120 days in jail for 11 offences, including unlawful assault and using a carriage service to menace. Given the time already spent in custody while waiting for the cases to be finalised, he left the Ravenhall Correctional Centre on Wednesday afternoon. He walked out of the centre with his head covered, wearing a black face mask emblazoned with the words "fake news" and a jumper which said "Get me Oprah." Earlier, as Pussey listened to magistrate via video link, he sat silently, showing no emotion. In separate instances in 2009, he abused 2 motorists in road rage instances, stealing the car keys belonging to one man and intentionally damaging the other man's motorcycle. He used social media to glean information about the family of a Westpac bank manager and then used the details to harass them. In December, while out on bail over the Eastern Freeway incident, Pussey assaulted a woman at his Fitzroy apartment and was involved in a standoff with police. He dragged the woman up 2 flights of stairs, showing her a noose made of thick rope that he had hung from the roof. So he was out on bail after the 4 police officers died. So he's out on bail, and he had a standoff with police. On Wednesday, Magistrate Hayley Bate told the Melbourne Magistrates Court there was a clear pattern to Pussey's behaviour. Mr. Pussey reacted to common interactions with members of the community with outrage, disdain, immaturity, and no regard to the law. I do not find there to be any evidence of genuine remorse. Why did you let him out? Sorry. Miss Bates said she'd considered the assault to be serious and believed the woman would have been terrified during the ordeal, even though she did not provide a victim impact statement. Referring to Pussey's harassment of the bank manager, Miss Bates said Pussey had engaged in a relentless pursuit of the man and intended to cause distress and concern for him and the family. Miss Bates placed him on a good behaviour bond and ordered him to continue mental health treatment with his current doctors for 2 years. Failure to do so could result him in returning to prison for 60 days. She said he was also fined $3,300. She noted he'd been previously punished with bonds, fines, community corrections orders, and prison and other crimes, but there was no sense he'd been deterred in a way. His lawyer told the court her client was concerned for his own safety upon being released. Mr. Pussey had endured quite a degree of punishment at the hands of the media and the press. His lawyer said it was important Pussey be given the strongest opportunity to complete his rehabilitation. On Tuesday, the Australian Securities and Investments Commission banned him from providing financial services for 10 years. The regulator found the disgraced broker had provided false statements over several years and said he lacks the attributes of good character, honesty, and judgment. However, it is understood Pussey may be able to collect ongoing commissions from prior brokerage work. So, question is, will he be able to stay out of trouble? Of course. I mean, the judge is only doing what the law says. So But it doesn't seem fair that he has been able to walk free. You don't think he'll stay out of jail? I don't think so either. I sort of get the impression that considering that he had a standoff while he was on bail, and when the Eastern Freeway matter had happened, he was out on bail then. So, hello, Gilly. Thank you very much. So it would seem that he has a habit of breaching his bail. So thank you very much for the super sticker, Jelly. Very appreciated. Alrighty. Well, we're still talking about. So we got this guy walking free. We're going to talk about somebody that's been locked away. So a New South Wales man who breached South Australia's Medi hotel system, escaping from hotel quarantine to get fast food and go to the pub, will spend another week behind bars. So he was 33, pleaded guilty to Adelaide's Magistrate Court for failing to comply with COVID-19 directions. He lives in Sydney, was quarantining at the Hotel Grand Chancellor in Adelaide after returning from his father's funeral in Scotland. Magistrate John Fay said he left the hotel via a fire escape on August 12, misled police officers he encountered into believing he was not in quarantine, and went to McDonald's at the Duke of York Hotel. The breach was discovered when he returned to his hotel room drunk at 6 the next morning. No one picked it up. Oh. Sorry. Magistrate John Fay said that he just cracked after a difficult time in his life, but his actions had the potential to spread COVID-19 throughout South Australia. Fortunately, you are not contagious. We know now that you could not have infected anyone, but that's not the point. The community needs to know that there will be serious consequences for those who flout the regulations. There has to be a penalty. I believe you're a good man. Your prolonged separation from your family at a difficult time in your life must have been distressing. He's fully vaccinated, was convicted and sentenced to 14 days in prison, but Magistrate Fay backdated it to when he was taken into custody on the 18th of August. So what do you reckon about that? He breached hotel quarantine. Is 14 days, should he have just been fined and sent back to Sydney? Or he sounded like he had a great time. Or is 14 days too harsh? I can't believe that A, he was able to get out of the hotel, and 2, that no one noticed that he wasn't there. Didn't know. My brother works in a hotel in Victoria, and they actually have people guarding each floor. They have 2 people. They have to actually monitor every time the door opens. So they're there. If a door opens, they have to sit. And there's another person in full PPE to go see what's needed. Has to change the PPE. So, but anyway. Yeah, so he escaped hotel quarantine. And, yeah, so 14 days. So what do you reckon? About that one? Find him. Well, for me, I reckon he's from New South Wales. Send him back to New South Wales and let them deal with him. He's their problem. Oh, hi, Sue. Oh, Sue, you've missed all our poo conversations. Our quarantine in June, our quarantine stuff was from June, was from South Australia, wasn't it? Oh. Or give him community service. He can go and find whether the poo belongs to New South Wales. No. Oh, on the horse? there was a guy on a horse, wasn't it? Let's see if I can find that one. Was he from New South Wales? Guy on horse, find. Yeah, because there's something on the New South Wales Queensland border, wasn't it? Oh, 8 hours ago, yeah. All right, so let's have a look. We'll have a look at this. All right. All right, let's have a look. I bet everybody from the US and the UK are thinking, gee whiz, these Aussies are clowns. All right. Hollywood stuntman fined over involvement in COVID lockdown protests. A movie stuntman who allegedly galloped his horse through the crowd at Sunday's lockdown protest on the southern Gold Coast has been fined more than $7,000 by Queensland and New South Wales police. So he was photographed riding bareback at Chruch during the protest, and on the border. On Monday, Queensland Acting Police Chief Superintendent said the man's actions were being investigated. There are a lot of families, young children. He actually a number of times rode through the crowd, trying to whip the crowd into a bit of a frenzy. The footage of the horseman captured during the protest showed the rider yelling to the crowd, "Cross over, everyone, go across the border. They cannot arrest us all." So he was fined $4,135 by Queensland Police for failing to comply with a chief health officer direction. And while the New South Wales police said the 52-year-old attended the Tweeds Head Police Station on Monday, where he was fined $3,000 for unlawfully participating in an outdoor gathering in a stay-at-home area. So he's a stunt performer. He's a Marumbala. Isn't that Marumbala? Isn't that where the poo is from? Or am I totally wrong? It's not from there, is it? Is that where the poo was? Is that where the poo argument's from? Marumbala? We're back to our poo. Anyway. So they did charge other people. They charged 6 people between 27 and 64 with offences including assaulting police officer, resisting officer in execution duty. Yes, it was. So maybe it's his poo. It'll be Queen about it next. So the Queensland Police arrested one man during the protest and charged him with public nuisance. That's why he was trying to wrangle the poo. He was trying to wrangle the poo back to ACT. Oh, the Guardian did an article? Okay, I'll grab that one too. Oh, boy. Oh, we were just talking, Sue. ACT and New South Wales are in a stoush over border. Whose poo had COVID? Yes, it's a thing. Oh, dear. Maybe it was the horse's poo. Maybe the horse's. Maybe the horse. It was him. It was him. Everything comes back to the poo. Okay, so his poo will be all over the joint. Maroonblah is near the Victorian border. He's on horseback on the Queensland border. So he's going, so we're blaming New South Wales, but it's his. I poo everywhere, man. Oh boy. I was just saying it says he's a Maroonblah resident. That's where the poo fight's over, the poo in Maroonblah. Well, it is the worst. It is the worst YouTube channel. All right. I get around. I get around. Ba-da-da-da-da. Get around, I get around. Ooh, ooh, I get around. I wonder if the horse was arrested. All right. Let's have a quick, let's get a bit. Oh, boy, we have lost this stream has lost the plot. So Critical K, she put on Twitter today. Oh. Critical K said, Team YouTube, can you please check and see why my account was terminated? Thank you. Oh. We recommend, Team YouTube says, we recommend reading the email we've sent your channel suspension. If you can't find it in your inbox, try checking spam junk folder. Also contains the steps on how to appeal. More about account terminations here. I might change the title to an hour of poo. Hi, maneuver. The hour of poo. So it looks like her channel's been suspended or terminated, I should say. So it's a very interesting suspension because I know that she's currently in a lawsuit at the moment. She's a true crimer. That's all I know. Interesting though, the account that did it, the account that has asked that question, has got no one following and 24 followers and no tweets except that one. So I find that to be very interesting. That's the only tweet and reply. 3 creators were gone at the same time. Timey COVID poo down spot. Timey COVID poo down spot. Timey COVID poo down. I don't know if they give you warnings. So you obviously, but it was actually a real person, actual question, obsessed with apples. Really? I don't know. I saw Voice of the Voiceless said they think they've all been mass-struck. Okay, yeah, was that in Erin's stream they said that? Because I sort of watched Erin's stream because I was a little bit interested myself about all of that. Yeah, I know, as I said, I know she's in the lawsuit, and I don't really know a lot about Critical K other than the fact she's in the true crime area. But yes, everyone needs to sing. Everybody now, tie me COVID poo down, sport. Tie me COVID poo down. Tie me COVID poo down, sport. Tie me COVID poo down. Oh boy. So now I should Ozbelle Rocket. You should be Ozbelle Rocket Launch. Yes, you should be. Oh. All right. Here's something else. Wow. I found it interesting that Critical K went before somebody else, because I really think that somebody else has to be all together now. You only watch 2 videos? Well, if what she's been sued for is true, it's pretty nasty stuff. So this is really interesting too, by the way. This is an article from July, but our little journalist, citizen journalist sued over tweets, can't claim protection, the court rules. Now I know this is about. So we know that in the US that they said that YouTubers aren't journalists. Well, and now citizen journalists can't be sued over tweets, can't claim protection. So this is in Australia. So a self-obsessed citizen journalist tweeting cynical and cranky stock market gossip is not in the eyes of the law a journalist, the federal court ruled. Stock trader turned mining investor Tolga is suing New Zealand man over posts under his Twitter account. Sorry, what should be the thing of the live? Oh. So this former New Centuries Resources board member claims the tweets implied he was engaged in insider trading and manipulating the stock market. Mr. Davidson denies his tweets meant that and is fighting the lawsuit using the defences of contextual truth and justification. This also has an effect on Jordan as well. In a rare test of what legal protection guerrilla journalists may have for their sources, guerrilla, I love that, Mr. Davidson invoked a problematic journalist shield laws in an effort to protect Mr. Kumar from forcing him to reveal who provided him information behind some of the stock swimey tweets. Mr. Davidson said he had promised the source, whom he described as a corporate advisor, that he would keep his identity a secret. He argued that as a journalist, as defined in the Commonwealth Evidence Act, he had the right to protect their identity. Does this sound familiar? But the federal court last week said that not only his self-description as a citizen journalist loose, his conduct on Twitter was not one of a journalist, and he could not invoke the shield laws. So in Australia, his conduct in the use of the platform viewed in its entirety strips him of that characterisation, Judge Jeffrey Flick said. Under Commonwealth law, a journalist is defined as someone who is engaged in the profession, complies with the recognised codes of practice, and regularly publishes in a news medium. Timey COVID. All right, we'll make that timey. We'll change the title. So, under Australian law, a journalist is defined as someone who's engaged in the profession, complies with the recognised codes of practice, and regularly publishes in a news medium. So not even the Australian government law would recognise a certain journalist as a journalist. Citizen journalists, on the other hand, evolved from the internet as social media platforms and blogs enabled anyone to report information. The term is attributed to entrepreneur Oyeho, who said in 2000, every citizen is a reporter when he started an online daily newspaper. Mr. Davidson's Twitter account, which he describes as cynical and quaking take on the ASX professional company operators making a play on retail, was also not a news medium, Judge said. Media lawyer Kevin Lynch of Johnson Winter and Stackry said the journalist shield was not often tested outside the traditional media field, but more defendants are being sued over mass publications that don't involve classic journalism. He said the recent defamation suit from New South Wales Deputy Premier John Barilaro against comedian and Friendly Geordie's YouTuber Jordan Shanks being one example. As the line between traditional journalism and guerrilla journalism becomes increasingly blurred, the extent to which a journalist shield will be available will become more and more important. Prominent lawyer Matt Collins QC, who evidently is Friendly Geordie's lawyer, said the so-called journalist privilege is intended to protect professional journalists, and the question of whether a citizen journalist could satisfy the test was still a live issue. The court found that he was not within a bull's roar of the sort of journalists who are entitled to protection, Mr. Collins said. It can't be right that journalistic protection is limited to legacy media. It must apply to new media. I'm not just convinced this was the best test case for the new limits. Mr. Collins said even when a professional journalist evokes shield laws, Australia's patchwork of legislation provided limited protection. Even when you've got professional journalists and professional news mediums, very often the protection has to be given up as the price for running a defence in a defamation case. So there you go. It's interesting that they got Matt Collins, as I said, who is Jordan Shanks' or Friendly Geordie's lawyer, to do that. So it's an interesting case. Yeah. So that becomes very important when we, hello, cheap glass. Oh, everyone that's coming in is going to be wondering what on earth we're talking about. Right. So there's that one. So Twitter, so the Australian Federal Court has said that guerrilla journalists aren't necessarily journalists. I wonder how she'd feel about being called a guerrilla journalist, Katie Joy. Oh, boy. All right. So let's... Wait, Bruce, the COVID poo is here. All right. So let's have a look at this. So let's go and venture into Afghanistan for a little bit, because it's still, Afghanistan is still very troubling. And the ABC, our journalist in Afghanistan has an Australian visa, but he can't get into the Kabul airport. So this is the ABC. More like the message came back. It was the same as the day before. The day before that, he returned back with no luck. He said he'll wait a little time, then try again. So they've changed his name, had battled his way through the heat, the sewage, and the throng to reach the gate to the airport we had told him he had to go to. With limited English, he then explained what happened to our interpreter, an Afghan based in Australia, who showed his visa in both forms, in his mobile and the printed version. They did not accept it, the interpreter wrote. But there was one thing to be thankful for. He'd not encountered the Taliban manning the checkpoints who'd stopped him a couple of days earlier. On that attempt, he never even reached the airport gate. The message we received was terrifying. Nassim was beaten up last night. He said he was about 50 to 60% close to dying. He was slapped and whipped. He'd been bashed around the head and torso by a Taliban fighter. He was complaining of bad bruising and hearing loss in one ear, but there was no choice. We have to get him back. We is my boss, ABC's investigative editor, Joe Pussey, and I. Pussey would mostly take the night shift, and I in the morning, and the team up during the daytime. It would involve communicating with Nassim, with the government departments, our ABC boss, and Glenn Colomitz, an experienced and tireless lawyer representing Nassim pro bono. For the past 10 days or so, we've been trying to get him out of Afghanistan. For more than 2 years, he's been our fixer in Afghanistan South, where the Australian forces have been based for years. He's a crucial member of our team investigating alleged war crimes by Australian Special Forces. He tracked down and interviewed dozens of Afghans, including witnesses to alleged unlawful killings and family members of victims. His work had been crucial to our stories of war crimes. About 6 weeks ago, the ABC had relocated Nassim and his family to Kabul because his home city of Tehran was about to be overrun by the Taliban. His work for us and other media had already attracted threats from the Taliban. One morning, I woke to an email saying, I need your help today. That help I need is to save my life. If the Taliban come and kill me, I will not be upset for myself. I'll be upset for everybody else. And he's worried about the future of his children. So they relocated him to Kabul. Like many others, the problem with getting Nassim out of was not getting him a visa. That was issued speedily and without drama. The dilemma was getting him through the Taliban checkpoints surrounding the airport, through the tide of human misery clogging airport gates, and to the Australian officials looking out for Australian citizens and visa holders. It is summer, the weather is hot, thousands of people are pushing and pushing each other to some unknown point. They are thirsty. Our translator relayed from Nassim one day, from the other side of the concrete wall, the US troops threw a box of water that made the congestion more ugly. People are falling under the feet of others. On Monday, we thought we had made a breakthrough when I reached an official who told me to tell Nassim to get an Australian flag or something striking to wave, to go to a particular gate, the airport, to take a photo of himself and where he was and send it to me. Then I'd send it to him. Hopefully the Australians would find him in the crush. Plan went well. He's printing the flag, came back the text. Then we got word Nassim had reached the gate. Maybe this time he could make it. Then a few hours later, the message came. It was not good. He was a metre away from them. He would get closer, show the email, but they would not allow him. They would push him back with other people. They were soldiers. Nassim could not tell if they were American, Australian, or British. To get to the gate, there seems to be like almost 30,000 people waiting, and so many people had emails to get in, but they could not, came the text. To get to the gate, Nassim had waded through sewage like the rest of the desperate throng. Then another message flashed up, he's leaving. They checked his visa 3 times. The soldiers would say no, no. Day after day, Nassim tried. Pussey, our ABC bosses, Colomitz, and I made hundreds of calls to anyone and everyone we could think of, all while Nassim's spirits have begun to flag. We texted to find out if he was making another attempt yesterday. No, he's not going. He knows nothing good is happening there, came back the reply from the translator. Like many Afghans with Australian visas, is losing hope and time is running out. That is horrifying, isn't it? That they can't. They're not being led on. Zoo's like, oh, that's fine. That's right. He just got kicked because he said a naughty word. That's really quite sad that people can't get. They're being sent back. And we know that time is running out. There's only a few more days left. They're saying there's 30,000 people all trying to get flights. It's horrifying. It's so sad. And There's no mention of his family, though. Like, what's happened to his family? And there's stories after stories after stories about people giving up hope and not bothering. So, of people that have risked their lives. Well, I don't know anything about the Afghan military. I thought we'd spent all this time training them up. Surely with the Afghan military and the coalition of forces, we could actually do something and get people to safety. I just don't, as I said, I'm having trouble. I'm struggling to understand why we can't go in there with a big power of force. I just don't understand why we can't do it, particularly if we've got the Afghan. It's been denigrated into a debacle, definitely. You were wondering, Lee, where his family was? Hello, Babs. How are you? Yeah, there was no mention of the family other than the fact he feared for their safety. Hello, Dee. It is Vietnam all over again. I would agree. I would agree with you, Bruce. The COVID poo. So it's Bruce's fault. Oh, dear. The Taliban have said that they won't extend the deadline yet. I'm wondering what the female fighters will do. I know that there's been a whole lot of people that have been able to escape, but I'm seeing lots of pictures of men. I'm not seeing many pictures of women and children, although I believe that Australia took a whole group of Afghan athletes and their families. Oh, yeah, probably. And that's probably true too. Well, I reckon if you offered the Taliban money, though, I reckon, because, well, here's something else that happened on the weekend. This is from Sydney. I'm just writing down timestamps so people can follow. I haven't got to Katie Joy yet. We've still got to get to her. Have I covered everything else? Because the poo sort of thing took over. So almost $50,000 in fines handed out to churchgoers who broke COVID rules by attending the Christ Embassy service in Blacktown. So that over $50,000 in fines have been handed out to churchgoers who broke public health orders by attending a service in Sydney's West. 60 people, including children, travelled from the Christ Embassy at Blacktown from COVID hotspots on Sunday evening. Police were called to 4th Avenue after a member of the public contacted Crime Stoppers. The service, which was streamed live on Facebook, was led by the pastor. I'm going to call the stream Tie Me COVID Poo Down Sport. That's what we're going to change it to. During a different service early in the day, he called for an end to lockdown. You've got and this says, in the name of Jesus, we refuse every lockdown in our cities. In the name of Jesus, go ahead and pray, he told the congregation. Hours after the evening service, 30 people were fined $1,000 each for breaching public health orders. Police fined them. And another 27 people, $500 today for failing to wear or carry a mask and an illegal gathering. Hi, Mama Duke. Is it Andrew? It's I hate this because it really gives churches and Christianity a really bad name, and I really hate it. So it's been fined $5,000, so it totaled to $49,000. There was no QR code, and of course it was founded by somebody who was an anti-vaxxer, and its main headquarters is in Lagos, Nigeria. So there you go. don't know, but I'm thinking if they want to extend, I reckon if they gave the Taliban money to get our people out, they may do it. I mean, money talks, doesn't it, in this day and age? Unfortunately. So, all right, I think we're nearly ready to deal with yeah. So yeah, I'm just really not if you are Taliban, love. Well, that's true, but I'm just saying that I'm just trying to come up with something that we can do to get our people out. Okay, if you want to understand the situation in Black Merchants, the Bureau of the Fifth Column has played this. Okay, I might need to do that at some point in time. All right, just about there, aren't we? They want wires. Yeah, that's true. But I mean, I do have to say, it makes all of our problems, particularly about being in lockdown, neither here or there. So actually, I need to title this "Timey COVID Poo Down Sport" and Katie Joy. You should bug Rush about doing this. Oh, yeah, I've tried to bug a few larger creators. I can't get them. So she says, super pumped. Brand new legal team assembled. My Seattle attorney was phenomenal. Literally, Michael Brown is hands down the best. Finding someone locally like him was super important to me. I just found them. I wonder if they call her my Katie. And then she says, my biggest flex is having an amazing legal team. This job puts me in the line of fire a lot. So having a good legal team is important. My tip to anyone going into this business is to know that you will be sued. It is not a matter of if, but when. Really? I don't think so. Being sued doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. In fact, sometimes it means you've done everything right. Invest in business insurance. Invest in business insurance to make sure you are covered. I wish I would have done that sooner. No, I can't say that with floaties of. I recently had to make a change to my business legal team. I needed a firm that had more resources and ability to manage a variety of needs. Business attorneys don't just litigate. They serve to protect your business legally. I'm grateful for all the amazing attorneys I've worked with over the past year. If you're a Seattle resident, I 1,000,000% recommend Michael Brown. He busted his butt for me during the Westbrook lawsuit. I'm feeling energized now that I've found a good law firm to represent all my needs. A lawyer is your shield to ensure you are protected and enables you to do what you do best, which for me is to report and create. Report and create. Really? Thanks to the Reddit team for putting those together in one spot so I didn't have to flip through. Oh. So it's so funny. Oh. I wonder if they call her My Katie. I think she's trying to scare people off. I think so. She's really trying to say to people, I will, you know, you can't do this without a lawyer. Oh, boy. So what else did she say today? No, that's right. So her first tweet of the day says, thunderstorms all night long, which meant that a little boy was very cuddly with his mummy, cherishing these sweet moments because I know they won't last. The Duggar's darkest secrets about Josh. Then she says, you want to play? Well, let's go. You won't know what hit you with what's coming. Ooh. And Zag says, bloody, what? I think she's putting on. Get justice for you and your family. You got this, and you have lots of supporters. It's funny, Sue, and we've been talking about poo all night. For those of you that just come in, you'll have to go back to the start, right at the 7-minute mark, where Barilaro is having an argument with the Australian Capital Territory about poo. Then she says, Josh Duggar, I was coerced. Throw out my illegal confession now. The key to success is finding the right team who will shield you from harm, protect you at all costs, and give you space what you do best. You mean they haven't told her to shut up? Super pumped. Brand new legal team assembled. My Seattle attorney was phenomenal. Literally, Michael Brown is the hands down the best. Finding someone locally to him was super important, and I found him. Found them. Yay! And then this is bizarre. If you are using drugs or alcohol and pass out while you are live streaming, please get help. It's never too late to get help and find sobriety. What? And then someone says, who did this? And she said, it's a general statement. I've just seen it happening. What? Where's this come from? You found the video she's talking about? I know that there was one creator a little while ago that fell asleep on the stream. And I don't know if it's that creator, but. Oh, dear. The other thing is somebody had said that they thought, or in fact, Erin on her stream today, that it was possibly Little Miss Noble and Steve McRae, or Little Miss Noble and the other person the TRO were taken on have used the same lawyer, because Little Miss Noble didn't have a lawyer when she had her first TRO hearing, but she's now got one now, and it's a local lawyer from Minnesota. So yeah. So I don't know who that is. I know it's not me. I just laugh a lot. But we know, yeah, it's maybe she thinks, maybe she's come on and, yeah, seen that I'm tanked. Maybe she thinks I'm tanked, but I don't drink. I hate to tell you, Katie Joy, I don't drink. However, if you saw the start of this stream, you'd be wondering what we're all on. Now, interesting, I watched part of Emily D. Baker's live today, and I watched some of Uncivil Law's stream today about these filings. Now, if you remember when we watched KJ's Instagram live, she said, oh, they're meritless and they're frivolous and all of that sort of stuff. Well, the lawyers are saying that they're actually really well-written documents. And Emily D. Baker said that she doesn't know, she's not sure about the constitutional aspect, but it was very clever. And Uncivil Law said that, again, it was well written. So they're all saying it was well written. They don't know that it's going to be successful, but they said it was well written, and they both commended the defense lawyers for their strategy. Yet our honorary lawyer, Katie Joy, said that they were pointless and a waste of time. Oh, Lil Red's Monday stream, 33 minutes in. Okay. You did listen to Uncivil? Yeah. Oh, was it Monday's stream? Okay. I'm just high on life. That's right. So anyway, how do I go about watching the law cases I watch? So Emily D. Baker is one that I watch. Uncivil Law is another. Natalie, the lawyer chick. But if you're talking about the court cases, I actually apply to the court. I ask the court if I can watch them, the Australian ones. So next week, Bruz is back in court on next week on, let me just check my diary. It's in my diary. It is, where is it? On Tuesday. So on Monday, I applied to the court to get the permission, or the precedent set by ruling on Trump would just open floodgates for a lawsuit. Well, that's the concern. That is the concern. And the other thing I know EDB said was the Miranda rights one, the one about when can you get a quick rundown of the Bruz stuff? So Bruz is suing Friendly Geordies for defamation over the videos that he did. He refers to, so Bruz took exception to the Italian accent that Jordan speaks in. He takes exception to being called a corrupt con man. He takes exception to the inference that he is not a nice person. They have got a hearing on Tuesday because Shanks has asked for a jury trial. He also has sued Google, and Google has now come on board and is supporting the request for a jury trial. So on Tuesday, they're ruling on the jury trial, which is very unusual in a civil federal court matter. So in October, the 15th of October, they are then having the matter proceed. Further, and as I said, so he's suing Google as well, or YouTube. And I'd say Google has essentially said they're going to support Shanks. So I'll be interested to see what's going to happen. So that's a very short version, but I will definitely let you know how to go about applying to the court, Cal. I'll let you know on Monday night stream, because as long as you email the court before court starts, I'll send you a link. It's usually on Teams, Microsoft Teams. So anyway, yeah. All right. Do we want to finish the night with the poo conversation? Oh. there anything else that that's happened that we need to talk about? We started off in the poo. Oh, sorry, Bruce. Whoever asked me. Sorry, I think it was Bruce that asked me for the roundup, but yeah, Cal, yeah, whoever was asking me, I'm sorry, I just had a in Ozbelle's Discord. Let me have a look. Oh, Ozbelle's obviously been busy. Just opening it up, I'd closed it down. Oh dear me. Because my computer's not very happy at the moment. I had to record something for my assessment. I had 6 attempts. See, a plan to create. Oh no, what's oh, sorry. Have a look at this. Oh, this is brilliant. See you soon. See you, Lee. I love it. Oh, that is brilliant, Ozbelle. Thank you. Oh boy, that was pretty cool. And the thing is, we need to feel some sympathy for Ozbelle because Bruz is actually her local member. He represents her. Ozbelle, oh, that is brilliant. Oh boy, that is hilarious. Do I put Katie Joy and Katie Joy in the title? Because she will really hate that. We're talking about poo and Katie Joy. All right, just give me a minute. I'm just going to update now. It's going to definitely get some interest. I don't know, though, that FJ will be very happy he's referred to as poo, though. All right. Let me just update the title. Hi, me, COVID, KJ Dags, poo down. Oh, all right. Oh boy, that's hilarious. I'll try not to pass out on stream. I don't want Katie Joy to say, make sure you're not high when you're on stream. I'm not high. I'm just laughing. All right. You will see everything change in a minute if you refresh this. I was going to say refresh the stream. Oh, boy. Here we go. Save. All right, so if you hit refresh, it's there. All right, there's one more thing. Oh, I wanted to show you something else. Someone's worked out the 5 lawsuits that Katie Joy is involved in. Ozbelle, a refresh. Refresh the stream, and it should be in the thumbnail. So someone, Pork Chop, had said, Pork Chop says, lawsuits Katie Paulson's party to Swanson versus Westbrook, Westbrook versus Swanson, Chrisley versus Waits, McRae versus Paulson, Unnamed versus Paulson. Additionally, Paulson has taken out TROs against 2 parties that will result in further litigation, McDermott and Unnamed. Someone's very, very busy. Oh, boy. Oh, that was hilarious. So anyway, all right. I don't think we can take this live any further down the toilet than we already are. So based on that note, we're going to leave it there. Thank you for watching. I will screenshot all of this so that you can come back and watch it again. Great title. I think so too. I'm going to call it Bruz. I'm going to timestamp that bit, Bruz's poo fight, I think. All right. Plus, Chrisley said 3-4 for funniest stream you've had in a while. Thank you, Andrew. I tried. Oh, it's really hard to talk about serious stuff when you start the stream with poo, hey? Yeah, Christoph fan always. 7 minutes 37 is you'll find out what started us all down the poo drain. Down the toilet. All right, I'll catch you all again tomorrow. Have a great day, great night, wherever you are, and take care.